B Money, you want to tell a little bit about our audience, a little bit about your background and what you do.
I am a business strategist and I have a company called Brand Strategy Marketing. And I help clients, small businesses who are trying to scale the business, trying to create a brand, and trying to get to the point where their business is profitable. And we provide web design, digital marketing, and also, like I said, business strategy and graphic design. So if you needed like flyers or business cards and that type of thing, we can produce that as well. I have been doing this for about 10 years now. I started back in 2013, I believe. 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've been doing this for about 12 years now. And it just it's been something that's been a passion of mine, just being a designer and being able to create things for clients. Kind of fell into it a little bit. Didn't know I was going to get into this type of profession. A lot of people that know me know that I have an accounting background and a marketing degree. And I started out working for a company called um, Consumer Credit Counseling Service,
Hmm.
uh, based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I was a financial specialist and then a financial educator, where I went out into the community. I did presentations on personal finances, credit, housing, um, and then I decided, it's time for me to go on my own. And I'm originally from Providence, Rhode Island. For those of you that don't know me, I was born and raised, and I've been in Atlanta, Georgia since 2000.
So it seems like
How
Allah
about
has done you well with your growing your business and you survived 13 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's a challenge, from time to time, especially in our community where, people don't always understand the importance of marketing and branding and having to invest in those particular things. And you and I know, having worked together for the past 3 years, how important it is to actually invest in what it is that you're doing. And oftentimes we don't understand. So my job is to, like I say, I kind of help people with that 20% of their business that they need help with, because most people already understand 80% of what they're doing. I just kind of plug in that little extra to give them that boost and helping them to enhance their brand.
Well, unlike you, you're pretty steady. I've been all over the place for over the past 12 years. I started in business and banking, the business side of banking, not the retail side, but the corporate side. And that went on for a good 32 years. So I learned a lot of um, business and how business runs. So I would primarily place myself in that business development slot. But I also have real estate under me now, real estate sales. So currently work for the Empower Home Team, Keller Williams Realty, as a realtor. I buy and sell houses. I also, working with you, have become a little content creator, aspiring,
Mhm.
I should say, right?
Yeah.
And learning a little bit about radio hosting and podcasting. So my horizons are broad, and they're growing. So that is Vanessa K in summary.
Okay, it's funny because when we first started 3 years ago, I told you we would be doing this. I told you you'd have your own
But
television program, your own podcast, your own radio show.
I'm
We've
like,
already
I'm
done the
not
radio.
doing that.
We've already done the radio piece. I told you you'd be producing books and the whole nine, and we've, pretty much checked off a lot of what we've set out to do. But of course,
Exactly.
a lot more work to do.
Exactly. We still got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. The name. Why don't we start off telling everybody how we came up with this name? Because it was a journey.
Yeah,
And that was a while ago too, but
yeah, anybody that's trying to start a business, you know that, a name is really important when it comes to branding. When you think about some of the real big brands like Apple and Nike and, Home Depot, what have you, um, having a name that's catchy and having something that really people can relate to. And when they hear it, it's like, okay, I understand if you're talking about Nike, you're talking about shoes and apparel and so forth. And we were trying to come up with a name. We had what, 50 names when we started out. We sent out a survey.
I think we had
Did
more than 50. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
and they were easy, one worders, two words,
yes, yes.
but they were all
And
gone.
Yeah, and you find when you're trying to do exactly when you find when you're trying to look for a name, first of all, most of the names have already been taken, especially in this podcast space. We had some really great names. And then uh, it was one day when you sent me something and I forgot exactly what the name was.
It
And
had the word solutions in it.
it had the word solutions in it.
And that's how we came up with the full sentence.
Then I came back and said, okay, how about solutions, not just problems?
That's right.
What we found is that most of the people that are in this podcast space are what? They're talking about the problem, and very few people are coming up with solutions. So we felt that it's important that we not just talk about what's happening in our community, and happening with business and relationships and so forth, but also that we get to the point where we offer some solutions. And it doesn't mean that we know everything, okay? We're not suggesting that. And sometimes Vanessa and I might disagree on some things. She has her opinion on things, and I have mine. So that's part of the show as well. So,
And that's good because we do live two we you have yours, I have mine. We two and kind of live two different lifestyles. Like I'm married, you're single, so that's going to bring those perspectives, different perspectives to the show.
yeah, I'm in Atlanta, you're in Raleigh.
Right.
Those are two different,
I'm
you know,
female, you're male. Perfect combination.
yes, yes.
So in solutions, I'm glad it went the way it did because it does really describe what we're trying to do. That nailed it. Solutions, not just problems.
And it's a long name, know, but the SNJP podcast is a lot easier for them to be able to identify and find, where we're at on YouTube. So that makes it a little bit
Absolutely.
easier. So.
So now, how we came up with the name was one thing, but wait, what made us do the podcast was actually different, and it is based off of the name, Solutions, Not Just Problems. I don't know about you, but when I go on social media, there was a time I just stopped watching the news. I stopped watching social media because it was just problem after problem after problem, and there was no solutions. And it sounds like a cat fight on social media. So that's one of the things. So when you came to me and said, we got to do a podcast, that kind of was what was sticking with me. Like, this is why we're going to do the podcast. We got to bring some solutions to the table.
And remember, we had to pivot because we started out doing a radio show, okay? And that got to the point where we found that it wasn't as productive, let's put it that way,
Right,
as we'd like it to be. Sometimes you try things, they don't necessarily go the way that you want them to go, or you're not in control too. You know,
right.
this gives us an opportunity to be in control of our own content, to be able to talk about topics that we're interested in, and also to be able to market what we're doing, based on how we feel about a particular topic. So.
That's right. That's right. We're going to pause here for a quick break. Word from our sponsors, word from our people, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Solutions, Not Just Problems podcast. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. So, B, who is our podcast targeted towards? Who's the targeted audience?
Well, when we first, started talking about this, we were trying to figure out what the age group was going to be, because obviously it's, we're targeting men and women.
Mhm.
Um, and we started out with over the age of 40 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And then we said, hey, we may have to reach back to, some millennials as well, because people age, let's say 30 and over, are adults, full grown
Mm.
adults. They've already gotten to the point where they've had experience in life. And so we felt that 30 plus would be a good age group and a good demographic for us to market to.
We got plenty of topics to talk about. I think going back to the age of 30, it was a good idea. Because they do have something to say. They are in the world dealing with the problems and everything that's out there right now. So that's the start of their life. It's almost it's it's the age. I don't know if you, well, we telling our age now, but
Cool. I
that's
don't have
the
no
age
problem.
where people start to take you seriously, right? You
Mhm.
start to turn into an adult. So,
Yes. Yes. It started to kind of understand what life is about. I remember when I turned 35 years old, it was almost like a light went on, in
mhm,
my head. And it was like, okay, I started to be able to figure things out.
right,
And I think that most people, because that's probably like the halfway point in life. Most people live to be what, about 75 years old, you know,
right.
on average.
On average, yeah,
So
70,
30,
75.
35 is kind of like the halfway point, and it's almost like this light goes on. So I think 30 is a time when we can start discussing these topics and really get people interested because I think those are the people that kind of need that encouragement, that education, and also the experience and wisdom that I think, people at our age can provide them.
Right. Absolutely. Like, the internet is a good source for information. Some of it's saturated. You get so much information out there, you get confused. But there's something about that life experience as well.
Yeah,
So, time over time, you have to go through that time and life experience to experience life, in other words, to get the wisdom that goes along with the knowledge.
yeah.
So I think, this podcast will be very good with, gearing people in the right way and kind of exercising our wisdom at our age, because we got a lot to say. We've been through some stuff. So,
Yeah, and trying to stay away from a lot of the trendy topics that are happening now where, it looks like men and women are kind of going at each other, you know.
right.
What we're trying to do is say, hey, we understand that there are going to be some differences, some different disagreements, but here are some things that you could look at or some solutions that you can possibly use, that can help you in everyday life. So,
Exactly. The other part of the podcast is the culture that we're trying to build. We're trying to do it almost off the cuff, right? I mean, we want people to interact, call
mhm,
in,
mhm,
we're taking topics as they're coming in. So we want our audience to know that this is gearing towards a very interactive
mhm.
podcast. We will open up phone lines, not only have guests and experts, talking on specific topics, but we definitely want our audience engaged.
Yeah, and we want you to share the information too, because I think that's important. That if you come across a topic or you see something that you think is interesting, there's always someone else that's thinking the same thing.
The topics, now to be more specific, that we will discuss is anything from current events, relationships, financial education, um, events that take place in the community, trending events, whatever we want to hear from you. Whatever you
Mhm,
want to discuss, we'll discuss.
mhm. And one of the things we're going to do, um, and sometimes a podcast can be pretty big, and you can get to the point where you got thousands of comments or at least hundreds of comments. But we're going to do our best to respond to the comments as well. So we're not just going to, and we may pick some randomly or, get to the point where we go through and find the good ones or what have you. But we want to be interactive as well when it comes to commenting and sharing information on the YouTube channel. So we would also invite you to go on and comment, like, share the information as time goes on.
Absolutely, because we can take those comments and actually answer them on the next show.
And not only that, we can take some of the information that you're sharing and create new content.
Hmm.
There may be some things that we left out or didn't think about. So that by us actually going in and checking out the various comments that are sent in, it gives us, a little bit more insight.
So talk to us, people. Talk to us.
Yeah, we can learn from you as well.
And we're going to break up with that. Welcome back, everyone. So this show will be aired once a week. We will be airing the show on Thursdays. It will be aired on our YouTube station, which you can catch at the end of the show. It will be aired on our YouTube station. So, and the intent is to work up towards radio, but we have to build our audience. So whoever you know that may like the show, share. Let's spread the word. So we're trying to monetize this and get back on the radio.
Yeah, we'll start out, once a week and then maybe add, a second episode depending on demand And also, we'll probably on, let's say, like Instagram or doing some type of a reel or perhaps a daily comment type of thing on YouTube. So, in addition to doing the show, I know myself, I'll be promoting the show and also maybe have a tip of the day, that type of thing. So,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna start out slow, let the show
Mhm.
build, and then get to the point. Each month we'll probably add a little bit more to it, and then
Absolutely.
you'll start to see more guests. Like the first month, it'll probably be Vanessa and I, or at least the first couple of weeks, and
Hmm.
then we'll start to add guests. We have guests already scheduled to come on the show, starting in May, I believe, is when we're going to actually start having guests come on. We could start a little bit sooner if need be, or if we have somebody that we think could give us some insight on that particular topic. So if we had a professional, accountant, and we're talking about, let's say, finances, and how you can make money in 2025. Let's say that was a topic,
Hmm.
how to build, you know, how to build a portfolio in 2025. Let's say we use that as an example, a financial portfolio. And we had a financial analyst or maybe someone who was accountant, CPA who could come on and talk about that particular topic. Or if we're talking about relationships, then we may have someone who's an expert in that field come in and talk about relationships. So, depending on the topic, we'll try to have a guest as much as possible so we can kind of break up the content, and then eventually get to the point where people can perhaps call in, to the show and have an opportunity to take part in the show, ask questions, and really get to the point where we're really interactive. And that to me is going to be the goal. And I know you and I have talked about this, on a regular basis of trying to get the audience and other people involved in the show as much as possible. So they're not just looking at us all the time; they're actually seeing different perspectives.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually trying to get mental health is a topic, that I would like to talk about.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
and yeah, I'm trying to get a mental health expert. I think I got one. So yeah, we're going to talk about that too, because that's a big one that goes unaddressed, and there's a lot of questions centered around mental health, and it's very common. It's part of our society today. So that's something we should discuss. So okay, well, I think this is a good time to break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we are back. And the next topic we want to talk about is how can I become a sponsor with SNJP? And one of the main things you want to do is visit our website, which is solutionsnotjustproblems.com. Okay, and we will have a call to action or a button that you'll be able to click, or you'll be able to send us an email from the website if you wanted to become a sponsor. We can not just promote your business here on SNJP, but also through business strategy marketing. You can also work with us to help you to improve your brand. So if anyone needed assistance in putting together content for the show, we could help you with that. And that would come with the package. Okay. If
Hmm.
you're actually going to be a sponsor, we'll help you to put together content and help you uh, with web design, flyers, digital marketing, what have you. So it's not just you marketing here. It's an opportunity for you to be able to market outside of SNJP with the assistance of brand strategy marketing.
And this is not just a YouTube station, right? In addition to the podcast, we'll be at events, we'll be creating content, writing books. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to spin off of this podcast.
Yes, we definitely are going to be adding more value than just coming on and speaking to you here. Like Vanessa said, we have some books that'll be coming out in 2025. If you wanted to book us and have us come out and do a presentation or do a fireside chat, that type of thing where we could come out to your venue or your location and have a discussion live there. I mean, so we're looking at all opportunities in terms of being able to promote SNJP and also get the message out there to help our community find solutions to the problems that we're dealing with.
So that is basically the conclusion of our show. I mean, we went through everything, but how can I subscribe, like, comment, or share? Just join us on our YouTube page. It's listed below. And our website. Check us out on our website. All our contact information is below. We would love to hear from you.
Um, and for those of you that want to write it down to contact us, go to solutionsnotjustproblems.com, or you can visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ at SNJP podcast. Okay, once again, the website, solutionsnotjustproblems.com. And to subscribe to our channel, just go on to youtube.com at SNJP podcast.
That about sums it up. Thank you for joining us, everyone, today. B Money, thank you for co-hosting with me, and we will reconvene next week.
Okay, I just want to say one last thing before you go is
Absolutely.
make sure that you follow us every Thursday. We'll have a show that we're going to be putting out each and every Thursday. And the next topic that we're going to be talking about is
It's a relationship topic, so
okay,
it's
it's a
when we
relationship.
go 50-50.
Oh, there you go.
Should
There
we
you
go
go.
50-50?